I've been commissioned to build a 4-camera live switch setup for live streaming of masses. And I decided to go with 4 of these Blackmagic Micro Studio Camera 4Ks because of the initial price point for a lot of the functionality and image quality. Though the unit itself, there are SDI, full HDMI, and breakout connections, so you could even control your exposures and shutters and white balances remotely. The small form factor of the camera actually means that you do have to have the added expense of buying an external monitor, something that you would buy anyhow if you really want to guarantee your image quality, because most cameras have small visuals on their LCD screens. So we're just going with something that's a little larger, something you can actually gauge the image, turn on your peaking, so you could guarantee your focus. Those are all things that you would have to do anyway. Though initially, if we daisy chain through HDMI to our switcher, this operator will not be able to see the camera settings in terms of like recorded runtime, even which they can't record on there as well. There's no SD card slot on here, so you really don't need that. But you might want to be able to see other settings in terms of battery power if you're running off a battery, or exposure notes. So you could theoretically still go out through SDI to a switcher, maybe like a higher end ATEM, or you can just turn it off and get your headset and have a director say you're a little hot. Hopefully everything across the board is light metered beforehand. So since this will be part of a live streaming setup, I went with a Cine lens. We have the Rokinon 85mm T1.5. And this is great because of the guaranteed locked focus and also the ability to adjust your f-stops on the lens. So for this small camera, if you're actually operating it, being able to muddle through the menus is difficult. So having your exposure differences externally is fantastic. This also means that once you've set it, you can't forget it. A lot of the Micro Four Thirds lenses have infinity focus, to where if they lose power and turn back on, you can't guarantee the focus will be locked solid. So with this setup, we'll have 3 of these mounted and unmanned, and one of them will be on a tripod, for the most part unmanned, but with the option to follow and operate if needed. Now our lighting situation is very similar and should not require adjusting the exposure for each setup. So this will be fantastic. All of these running to a Blackmagic ATEM. For the switcher side, though this iCan does not record, we will be going to a Blackmagic field monitor that does record, like maybe the 7-inch with the 2 SD card slots, so that we have a switch going, we have a signal going to our YouTube feed, and we have a non-compressed recording of the event. The breakout for power built in. A lot of cameras you might need to buy additional dummy batteries, like the Panasonic GH cameras, though I love them and I'm actually shooting this video on one. Going to wall power becomes problematic and you need to get the dummy battery, and of course you want to get the Panasonic brand, which is like 5 times more expensive than the Amazon knockoff, but I encourage you to proceed with caution if you're using the Amazon knockoffs. So having a Blackmagic issued power adapter built in is fantastic. And if they are powered off of a single power source or surge protector, with one switch you can shut the system down and one person can go power it back on and everything will power on perfectly. So if you're set up with a power conditioner and a firm-in switch, you can come in, flip one switch, everything turns on, and you can do a live stream recording with little issue. So we're going to try this out and we'll see what we get when we do put it in place.